Hey everybody, it's Wes, and today I've got a gameplay of Gears of War 1 as a backdrop. It's not going to be the best gameplay because, well, the servers aren't even playing very well. I can't exactly join any games since there's nothing up. But here's a game I've recorded today, and let's get started. Today I want to talk about how did you get into gaming? What was your main drive to buy a console or to buy a certain game for a certain console, the first time it came out? So if you want to answer that in the comments, just say what was your first console or what brought you into gaming in general and what game. For me, PC gaming was the major thing before console came out, because obviously PC was around for a while since before the Xbox 360 came out, which I think it was like 2005 September time or something around there that it came out. But I'm not sure about that. It might be 2006 maybe, but we can just figure out dates later. But my main game is Gears of War, and as you can see here, obviously just having that in the background makes sense because it is my first game I played. Not literally this video, but it was one of the first games that came out for the Xbox that I really enjoyed, because obviously the year before it came out maybe, or the few months before Gears 1 came out, there wasn't many. There's like Cameo and all this other stuff, Rainbow Six, which I did get on the same time as Gears, but I played this more. So we started off with Gears of War 1, and obviously Gears of War 2 came out, excited for that, and now Gears of War 3, so it's kind of like a trend. I got addicted since day one, and from that to now, so it's been about 4 or 5 years now since this was released. It still plays alright. I think there's certain flaws, as a lot of people know, and I think in some of the videos I'm going to upload later, maybe we'll show the difference between Gears 1, Gears 2, and when Gears 3 comes out, I'll do it then. But my main game, what I came out with, was on the PC, and it was called Battlefield 2. I think that was my main game, as well as there was Medal of Honor Allied Assault, and there was another few. But basically, when you played Medal of Honor Allied Assault, there was a mode where someone created a mod, and I think you could have it on the normal servers, and basically it lets you create maps while you're playing, so you have like 5 minutes to start making a map, then you can play inside the map. I'm sure there's some good examples on YouTube. If you search Medal of Honor modern maps or something, I don't know, there's some sort of thing. I'll try and link it in the description if you want to check it out, because it's really fun, and that's how I got into gaming, really. With that said, there was the major game what came out, which was Battlefield 2, which came out in 2003, I think it was. But before that I was playing 1942 and the mods for that, which came out after. Which I won't go into detail to that. I'll go into detail with Battlefield 2, since that was the main game at the time, and still is pretty good, up to date. It's not as good as obviously the third one what's coming out, but it was fantastic, and it still is good, but you know, you gotta get with the times. Battlefield 2 essentially was my main game. I think I played overall 14 days on that, so it was quite a lot of hours. But I'm sure I played more than that, but I don't know, but it felt like longer anyway. Battlefield 2 is more or less the big game of this, like, the decade essentially for me. Like, you had infantry, air combat, you had vehicles, you had unlocks, and you had a lot of things to do. There was a lot of expansions as well, at least 3 or 4, and full expansions with new weapons, new types of maps, new modes even, new teams and stuff like that. So essentially a big mod, but for not that much money actually. What didn't cost that much. And yeah, Battlefield 2 was amazing. 64 player online, no lag whatsoever, depending on the server host, and a lot of mod support. You could actually make your own maps, which is a fantastic idea from Battlefield side of the table. They should do that with Gears 3 PC if they ever made it, but it's highly unlikely since they're developing for Xbox most of the time. So we have Battlefield 2 as my main game now. We also have Gears for the Xbox 360 console, which was my main game for that. I'm not sure whether another game will take me to Storm like that, like a new release. Resistance did a good job on the PS3. For that, I think though it isn't as revolutionary as this was, because obviously at the time the graphics wasn't as up to standard as Gears 1 was at the time. So we had all these amazing graphics and character models and levels and scripting and story and everything about that. So Gears 1 was heavily ahead of the competition compared to Rainbow Six Vegas, which has been out for the Xbox before. But compared to Gears, it's nothing. Gears 1 was ahead of Dead Rising, Saints Row, and all that competition. Even though it might have been free roaming, you got more to do. This had more of an addiction towards it, more of a... You have more things to do, you have a competitive side and everything to do with that, so I'm just going to leave it there with that. And also with gaming, with the YouTube channel, obviously decided to do Call of Duty videos first, which was kind of weird because I don't really do many Call of Duty videos because I don't know how to explain it. The game is just filled up on YouTube now. It's ridiculous. It's overused in everything on YouTube. But I'm not complaining because it is a good game. You know, you gotta have like some sort of respect for it and some sort of competitive friendliness, because they are competing together. Obviously, like Battlefield 3, you got Modern Warfare 3, Uncharted 3, Resistance 3, Gears 3. All these games are going head to head to like, you know, overrule each other. But yeah, they all seem to be really good games, and obviously I can't complain because they are fantastic games when you play them. So I don't think you can compare the lot because everything is different. Like Battlefield's infantry and everything, support, everything, unlocks and stuff. Gears 3 is the same, but obviously no vehicles online. It's more or less pure gameplay with a lot of unlocks, a lot of stuff, a lot of story-driven elements, a lot of everything really. I could say the same thing for Call of Duty. It has its moments, like big-ass movie-type moments in the cinematic campaign. Multiplayer plays alright. I haven't played Modern Warfare 3, so I can't decide on that, but I'm sure it'll be good in November when it comes out. But obviously, nothing can beat Gears 3, in my opinion. It's the one to watch and, well, the one to try and beat, but I don't think anybody's going to beat it, in my personal opinion. So that's my point on how I got started. Basically, just getting started with Battlefield was my main game to play in Medal of Honor. But I think Gears of War took over as soon as Xbox came out and is now my favourite and has been my favourite for over 5 years now. So I hope you enjoyed that commentary. It was my first one in a while, so it's been like 2 months now since I did one. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you comment and like and subscribe if you haven't for more commentaries and gameplay. So thank you guys for listening, and appreciate the likes.